Hello and welcome to this week's episode of My CP Does Not Define Me, where we focus less on the this and more on the ability of what we can do. Join us each and every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, live on the Disability Global Broadcast, Facebook Live, and LetGoRadio.net. Looking forward to seeing you there.
What's up, everybody? It's D to the J with a rollaway, and I was in the living room eating dinner and watching TV, and my fiance goes, "Oh God, it's Wednesday," and I go, "Oh God, the show," and we go, "Oh God, what are we gonna do?" So, oh God, we're a little late, and I'm sorry about that, but we are here today now, and thank you, fans, for sticking with us. I let everybody know that my ICP was going to be a little late, and sometimes you have to adapt. Speaking of adapt, the title of the show today is When You Hit That Wall, How Do You Not Crumble? Now, we can go a lot of ways with this. We can go finding the good in a bad situation, finding the good in a good situation. Too much of a good thing is a bad thing, like the in-laws. I mean, when you're surrounded by parents and they just drive you crazy, and you're there and you're going, if I have to deal with this person one more time, I'm going to explode. And I said it today. I said, I can't take it anymore. We got more bills coming in and we got more money going out. What do? You have to kind of pace yourself to a point and say, look, you can only do what you're able to do, and you can't force yourself to do more when you're at your max. And that's the part of life that people seem to get kind of overwhelmed with. They get, oh my God, I can't pay this bill, and they're going to get mad. Look, when you budget and you have money, once that money runs out, it ain't your fault. The bills are going to come. And trust me, you're going to have unexpected stuff hit you. The key is know your options, and someone's at my door. Give me just a second. The problem is that when this happens, you cannot overload yourself and say, I don't know what to do. I can't make it. I can't take it. What am I going to do? Where am I going to go? What do I do for now? The point is, you've got to look at the whole situation and figure out, okay, if I put this off and pay this 10 days later, there may be a late fee involved, but I can pay it 10 days later. Can I possibly, get a payment extension? Can you go and set up a payment plan? The thing about it is, you've got to look at the situation and say, okay, what do I do and what is most important? Are my lights on? Do I have food in the house? Is the rent paid? Is the heat on? Yada, yada, yada. The whole nine. You've got to look at what is most important and say, okay, this needs to be paid, but I can push this off. Look, and I'm going to say this. Some people are attached to your cell phones. Cell phones are, if your cell phone goes off for a day, it is not the end of the world. Okay? We are a society that is electronically pushed to our max. We got all these iPads and gizmos and Apple Watches and phones, and I carry my phone with me, but I use my phone when I need to as an emergency. If Kim needs to call somebody, she can call from my phone. Not saying that her phone has ever been off, but if it comes to a time when you got to choose between the cell phone or the light bill, you're going to pay the light bill. You've got to prioritize what's more important. And I'm going to tell you what, as much as this daggone electricity keeps going up, I might have to prioritize something else over the light bill. I just...
Candles?
Yeah, we got candles. We can burn candles. I just, I know life keeps coming, and I realize, you got your cable and internet. Look, cable got to go. I'm getting rid of cable this month. I'm done with it. My cable bill and my internet bill is $220 a month. That's too much damn money for me. I can't handle that. I can stream everything and just keep my internet and be happy with $100. Leave me alone. And people are obsessed over subscriptions. You got your Hulu, you got your Disney Plus, you got your ESPN Live, you got your Prime.
Hi, Tony.
All of these. Hey, buddy, I got all of this that I got to figure out. And you hit that wall. I look at this thing, and it's how you hit the wall that you're going to learn from. Okay, I'm going to show a couple of these comments up here. Jed right here hit it right on the money. Juggling is hard to handle. Just think, doing it one-handed with cerebral palsy. On top of that, and this is one of the things a lot of people don't realize. My family and I are considered getting rid of cable because it's how madly expensive it is. If you get a Roku box, you can get a Roku box or an HD TV antenna and get most of your digital local channels. I think it's 90 of them for free. You can get a Roku box and pay for the box and add on what you want and do it that way much cheaper. My internet is great. I got to have high internet because I broadcast. I do all my gaming stuff. So my internet, I'll pay $100 for that because that's going to be, I use my internet every day. Okay. But cable, I watch 3 channels. I watch wrestling. I watch cooking. I once in a while will watch an event on Peacock or Prime, Monday, Thursday night football on Prime. I like Prime because Prime gives you access to groceries. Prime gives you, free shipping on stuff from Amazon. But again, Roku, I cut all my subscriptions down. I had Disney Plus, Netflix, Pandora. I had Prime, this, that, and the other. I went through and cut 15 subscriptions out of my bills. Right now, I have Prime and I have storage. Those are the only 2 expenses that I have outside of my bills, outside of our bills that we need. You've got to identify where your problems are. And I'm not just talking about this is expensive. What do you really use? What do you really use? I don't have just my movie collection, which I think Tony uses Vimeo. It's is the movie collection there. But again, that's very simple things. When you don't need something, you can decide, okay, I can get rid of this. And you look at the same way you budget, okay? The same I'm sorry, Voodoo is the movie collection that Tony uses. But the same way that you go through and you itemize, all right, I didn't use to make a grocery list. I would go and I would buy this. And I would just go, we need this, we need this, we need to get to everything, and and just spend the money. But when you make a list and you itemize what you need, okay, when that total comes up, don't let them ring you up until you get up to the register. Because twice they have done this, 3 times they have done this, 4 times they have done this, and every time it's $800 or $900. And I'm like, look, y'all ain't doing that to me. We don't spend that much money. We look and get what's on sale. I'm a soda drinker, but again, I balance it out with water. I use get a lot of Mio, the Mio water. They have the off-brand Mio.
It's amazing.
Yep, we have Cox Cable. We had to get our 5-year-old box replaced last week with a crappy new one. We just got that one replaced earlier this week. And amazingly, the promotions that they have, they sound good, but see, when those promotions expire, it jacks your bill up 2 times higher. And that's why I say I'm getting rid of cable this month. I'm done with it. I don't watch that much TV anyway. I can watch wrestling on Hulu on Tuesdays. I will subscribe to that and get my Hulu back and my Disney Plus bundle back, and I'll be fine.
Give my senior discount, please.
Oh yeah, please, man. You so lucky. You 50, man. Come on now. You ain't 50 yet. Stop that.
We have Disney Plus and Netflix.
Yeah, we do. I mean, we have most of that. Which, again, when you can bundle it together and make it better, it's making it better for everybody. But the thing is, everything is going up so much that even the Disney Plus just went up. I think from $14.99 to $18 at the end of the year. So I mean, it's everything is just going up. You've got to prioritize what you really need and what you are able to spend, within the confines of your budget. I don't watch that much TV anyway. I'm a gamer. That's what I do. And like I said, a lot of the stuff you can stream most of the time and make it easier. So make it easy on yourself and get rid of what you don't need. Now I'm gonna tell you what. This is my thing that I start. I love to eat out, but I try to eat out once or twice a month, and I try to order sensibly. Now a lot of people, when they go out, they're gonna order this, that. You can get a large order of something and split it and save your money.
Mm-hmm.
Smart box cable box. No, I haven't heard of that, Dan. I'm not sure about that. But that's something I'll have to ask about. But when you go and you eat together, like for instance, we can go and get an order of nachos that are rather large, and 4 people can eat off those nachos,
Mm-hmm.
and you end up saving yourself quite a bit of money. One of my mentors that I used to do broadcasting with was talking to me about, he used to go and eat and order this, and an entree and an appetizer and this. Eat what you got on your plate. Wait a few minutes before you order more. Let everything settle and look at their combinations. Look at their specials. Look at what they have. Do they have a dollar menu? You've got to be, within your own mind, you've got to stick to the rules that you set.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people, just like gambling, you think I'm going to win money by doing this. If you can't afford to lose it, don't bet it.
Yep.
I have seen gambling destroy families. I've seen alcohol destroy families. Oh, I only drink once in a while. Bull crap. You got a beer in your hand all the time. You need to sit down and really rethink your lifestyle. Because I very seldomly drink. I maybe drink 3 or 4 times a year, if that. I will buy alcohol and it will sit in the fridge. Look at what you're actually using, okay? For your water consumption, you can get one of the water restricted flow toilets, and it works just as well as the regular toilets and uses half the water, and save yourself bukus on your water bill. Make sure your toilets don't run all the time. If they run all the time, that can jack up your water bill like nobody's business. How much food do you actually eat? Budget your food. Budget your consumption of what you're buying. Look at the different brands. You don't have to have, when you pay for a brand name, especially in the cereal aisle, if you're paying for Lucky Charms, you're paying for the leprechaun and the box. You're not really paying for the cereal. When you can go right at the end and they have these box bag cereals by Postmates, I think Postmates does them, Papermates does them. You can get the cereal Marshmallow Mateys, which is exactly the same as Lucky Charms, or Cinnamon Toasters, which is exactly the same
Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
as the Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Fruity Rings is the same as Fruit Loops, and you're not paying for a stupid brand name. Okay? If you make your monthly bills a game and budget right, you can spend and save money. That's true. If you commit to it, it's just like, it's just like a diet. If you're going to lose weight, you've got to set up your plan and work your plan every day. Okay? Just like we talked about, when you hit a wall, if you struggle with something, if you struggle with drinking too much soda, I used to drink 3-4 sodas a day, 5-6 a day. I don't do that. When I have a soda, where's my the water bottle I use? This is an 18-ounce water bottle. Okay, this lasts me pretty much through the night. When this is done, this is Pepsi right here. I will take water and I will get Mio, and I will squirt half a tablespoon in here and drink water with ice. For every soda that I drink, I will do the same thing with Mio and use half the sugar consumption and stay hydrated. When you diet, if you commit to anything, if you want to save money, it takes commitment to do it, and it takes a game plan to do it. I'll give you an example. We've got to get up tomorrow at 7:30 a.m. to go get groceries. It's the only time that works. We have stuff we have to do. That's the only time our friend can help us. So I've got to make a commitment to be up at 7:30. Okay, now, today I slept all day because I was sore. It was cold outside. My CP was kicking my butt. I needed to sleep. Kim needed to sleep, and she said, just stay in bed and rest. We got mail. We got something from the IRS, and I started freaking out. I said, wait a minute. I checked what I needed to check. I said, I'll call him tomorrow. Ain't no use in calling him today. Can't do anything. You can't let something that comes in the mail freak you out when you first see it, okay? We're all human. Things that happen on a daily basis, but it's not the end of the world, okay? You got to take what you got and look at what you got. Take it piece by piece, time by time. And if you got to get up at 7:30 in the morning to go do, sometimes you got to do things you don't want to do. Sometimes life sucks and it's 34 degrees in the morning and you're cold and you're rolling in your chair and you're going down the food line going, man, it's cold as crap out here. I really don't want to do this, but you know what? I'm going to go ahead and get it done. That's the thing. If you don't take your time and you don't do what you need to do when you want to get it done, it really is... You're gonna hurt yourself by trying to force something. I have seen more and more people stretch themselves too thin, stretch their budgets too thin, go too long. I can afford that. I'll just get a credit card. Listen, let me mention this, and I'm gonna mention this one time. Credit cards will destroy you if you don't know how to manage them. Mm-hmm. If you don't know how to keep those minimum balances down, the average interest rate on a credit card is 39.99%. Okay, plus late fees, plus all that stuff. I have 4 credit cards. Okay, but I also have a credit card from Care Credit to get my chair and my medical equipment and all that. I used to have an 806 credit. Because my credit has gotten out of hand because of our financial situation, I've had to let some things slip. Now, that doesn't mean I can't come back and get the budget paid down. If when things are too much, you got to cut them. Yeah, the cold. I mean, with CP, it's always one of those things. The colder it is, the harder it is. Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
I look at my life on a number scale, 1 to 10 usually. Okay, I take the major things that I have to do and I get them out of the way first. I usually wake up and go to the bathroom. That is the first thing I do. And I destroy everybody in the house with what I got to do. Okay, then I get my shower. All right, got my shower out of the way. Well, did I shower last night? Do I need to shower today? Do I smell? Did I put on deodorant? I go through that checklist. I get dressed. All right, let's evaluate today. What do we have to do? Do we have food? Do we have water? Do the pets have food and water? Do they need a bath? Do we need to mop the floors? I usually go Monday through Friday and get my budget stuff out of the way. I pay my bills by the 5th of every month. And I choose to do that because of when things come in. All right. So you look at it that way. All right. Well, when do you mop your floors? When do you keep your house clean? When you have roommates, spread it around. Okay. Not one person has to do everything. You got to make it kind of, I'll get the floors. You get the trash. Okay. You got the trash. How about you do the dishes? You do the and rotate it around so the same person doesn't have to do the same damn thing every time because that gets boring. But also take time to yourself to have fun. When you get stressed, go outside for a walk. Go outside and sit a little bit. Paint, draw. I mean, I would literally take the time to kind of distress yourself. And you want to do that sometimes 2 to 3 times a day because depending on what you've got on your plate, it's harder to deal with today than yesterday. Right now, we're dealing with Social Security, and you call them on the phone, they tell you one thing. You go in, they tell you another. Okay, here's the situation. And the first thing I ask myself in this situation is, what can I control? That is the first question that comes out of my mouth in every situation. Okay, we paid the bills. Everything is good right now. We don't have a lot of money, but we need to do this. What can I control? What can I do? What are my options? Sit down and talk to your wife or your significant other. What can we do? Can we sell something? Can we go out and make some money? Do we really need this? What is it? Look at your options and see if there's an easier way. Be careful with borrowing money because the more you borrow, the more you got to pay back. Okay, and you can get in swarmed in debt faster than you realize by borrowing from people because you're trying to get out of something. I understand that. When you receive a financial blow and your Social Security stops or your SSI stops or your SSDI stops, it is very difficult to live on Social Security alone, okay? Because they don't give you enough. And then they take $164 out for Medicare, okay? And I don't often get that sick. How often do I have to go to the doctor? Not very often, but when I do, thank God it's there. So those distressors, you got to look at, all right, if you have a vehicle, then you have insurance. And most of us with CP, if we have vehicles, you have to have comprehensive and you have to have liability. So you got to have full coverage. And look at one of the things that I have that I'm very grateful for is renter's insurance. Now I say to you, and if you were to lose all of your stuff in a fire today, how much would it cost you? How much would it cost you to get all new stuff? My Allstate agent said, if you look at what you have, multiply it times 2 because of how much the newer version of what you have cost. Okay, if you have $70,000 in renter's insurance, is that enough? No. My chair alone is $22,000. $22,000 brand new. I have 2 chairs. I have computers, laptops, clothing, furniture. 250 to 300,000 is bare minimum for 2 people. Kim is on my insurance. Because you've got to look at, nobody wants anything to happen to anybody. But if you don't prepare for the future, you're going to be stuck in the past. Vehicles for a person with CP range from $40,000 to $65,000. Whether it's front or rear entry, $42,900 to $60,000 for a new vehicle. And the more electrical doodads you got on your vehicle, see, what people don't realize now is they get these vehicles with all this new fancy stuff, all these new circuit boards, and my car can do this, and my car can open the door by itself and close the trunk by itself, and this, that. All those are controlled by sensors. And if one sensor goes bad in that group, it affects the whole van. That's why I said the next van I have, I want 2 things. I want a rear entry van where I can go all the way up and sit in the front seat just like I have now. Of course, mine is side entry now. And I want manual doors and a manual ramp. Because what I'm tired of paying for is every time that door breaks, you gotta pay $229 just to have it looked at. I will tell you right now, the vehicle that I have outside is a 2006 Buick Terraza. And my Buick Terraza is fully loaded with a TV, 5-disc CD changer, DVD player, all that stuff. Has the air tank in the back for if the tire goes bad. That vehicle right now, I could sell it for $25,000. It only has 42,000 miles on it, and it's an 06. That was a blessing for me when I got that vehicle. But to get a newer vehicle now, like I said, is going to cost me anywhere between $42,900, and I'm talking used, $42,900 to $60,000 for a new vehicle. Not to mention plates, tagging, registration, all that, then the upkeep on the vehicle. One of the things that I will say, and this is talking about when you hit that wall, if you are going to get a vehicle, please, dear God, get a bumper-to-bumper warranty. Especially if you get a vehicle that has a ramp and electronics in it for a person with CP. And I'm telling you, I would extend that sumbitch out as far as you can get it. 2-year warranty, 3-year warranty, however long you can extend it, extend it. Because what you don't want to be stuck with is car repair. When I went down to get Kim in New York, my shifter broke. Parked inside of a daggone Sunoco gas station, couldn't shift. $800. $800. That is the only thing I use my car credit card for, is repairs. That is why I keep that sucker paid down, because you don't want expensive repair. Everything is more expensive for people with disabilities. Know where your grants are. Know where your grants are. Know where your hidden money is.
That's true, Kayla.
And see, I never understood that. Why and I got to ask this question and maybe let my viewers answer it. Why in the hell would you make a temporary handicap tag or a handicap tag that's going to hang in your window when your disability doesn't expire unless God said so? Yet the tag is going to expire and you have to pay for new ones unless you get permanent ones.
They don't have permanent ones.
They do. They have permanent license plates for vehicles, which I have. Just like my license plate on my. And they try to say your license plate's getting hard to read every 10 years. No, but see, that's because people work the system. I'm not talking about outside of that. I'm talking about if you have a disability that doesn't expire, that isn't going to be non-permanent, okay? Then why should your tags expire if your disability doesn't? I'm not talking about working the system. That's two different things. I'm saying to you, if you have a disability that lasts a lifetime, everything you should get should last a lifetime. Meaning your insurance for your chairs, all that stuff should last a lifetime. Everything that you've got to go through should last a lifetime. Not, and that's true. Our system is broken. I agree with that, but it's the only one we've got. And the only way we're going to change it is to get people like us inside that system. For if we want to change it, we have to be the ones to do it. If we want to fight, we've got to be the ones to get in there and actually change something about it. And I'm talking about everywhere. We need to get on our every city and state has a I think it's a public disability board. Okay, so you have a permanent. Okay, and this is where I think we need to start changing the way we look at things. You know, we can't control people. The only thing we can control is ourselves, and it's not. I understand what Kayla's saying. I'm not disputing what Kayla's saying, but if we want something to change, then people like us have got to get off our ass and start making changes. Because nobody else is going to do it for us. And that's what's wrong with this world today. We're waiting for something to happen while we're not pushing ourselves to go to the next level. When you want something done, if you want to see change, and I'm talking about before you hit the wall, you've got to notice the little things. One of the things right out here, right outside of the complex that I stay in, it's dark. Kim said, why don't we call the city and figure out what we need to do to get some lights out here because so many people have been hurt. Okay, so if you want something done, you've got to take charge. Find out who your city councilwoman is. Find out who your senator is. Find out where you can go to make changes, and you've got to push it. When Tony came down, just like he's talking about right here, the reason he came down, our transportation system, he took a lot of the things from our transportation system here at TRT, Hampton Roads Transit, back to Kansas City. Just like we can't get a new wheelchair without medical necessity by PTOT insurance, even though it's supposed to be 5 years. That is correct. But at that 5 year, your doctor can write a script for a new chair saying that it's at that 5 year minimum. And that is the insurance law itself, not just the doctor. You are required, you're able to get a new chair every 5 years. And I want to tell you this too, because Miss Winnie showed me this. Don't let them tell you they're going to deny something. Put it through and let them deny it. If they deny it, then you can appeal it. Don't put it through. Don't not put it through because they tell you they're not going to pay for it. Let the insurance decide that. I got everything on my chair except the headlights. everything I needed on my chair except the headlights. Yes, the headlights is one of the things I need on my chair, but I'm going to fix that myself. And I've got a way I can do it that isn't going to cost me that much. That's true too. I like this statement right here. If the chair doesn't meet your medical needs now, you don't need to wait 5 years. Now, it's a little harder to push for the medical necessity, but you don't have to wait to 5 years if your chair doesn't meet what you have now. One of the things that the insurance companies will tell you is you're not supposed to take your wheelchair out of the house. We are supposed to be hermit crabs. We are supposed to be disabled people in our homes and not go outside. That is what the insurance companies want us to believe. These chairs are designed to go outside. Now, are they designed to last a lifetime like the 1930 or 1940s Ford? No. If you have Medicaid, they will pay for your headlights as a necessity. If you only have Medicare, they will not pay for it as durable medical. You're responsible for that expense. And this is the point right here. You have to take the chair outside before you can get indoors. In order to deliver that chair to you, that chair has to be driven inside of your house. Again, when you have both, Medicaid picks up what Medicare doesn't cover. Medicaid covers 80% of durable medical. If you do not have Medicaid, you are responsible for having both. For paying for the remainder. If you have both, Medicaid will pick up the remainder of what Medicare doesn't pay. So I don't think I'm going to stay the whole hour today, but what I'm going to tell you is this. I want to end with this. A lot of people will say, I want something to change. A lot of people will say, I want this to be different. But yet you sit there and you do nothing because you think your voice doesn't matter, because you think nobody's going to hear you. If the disabled community wants to make a change, we need to be the ones to make the change.
I don't understand her question.
And to keep the battery running, outdoor use is needed. Okay, now that's a great point, Caleb. All right, so let me explain something before I leave. Most wheelchairs have what they call different profiles. Okay, my last chair before I got this Permobil, which I like a lot. I got the Permobil 3 right now. My Permobil 3 has two profiles, an indoor profile and an outdoor profile. Okay, depending on the type of chair you have, you can have more than one profile. My QM710, which is the chair that I had before this one, had 5 different profiles. Some of them were indoor and some of them were outdoor. I believe that every chair should come standard with headlights and also with the upgraded speed package for crossing the street. Because let me ask you this. For those of us that don't drive, how do we get to the store? I roll my white ass to the store right in this chair. I get my groceries in this chair. I dress myself in this chair. I don't care if it's light outside, if it's dark outside. I got to get milk. I will go get milk. If my chair does not have headlights, that is a danger to me. I believe that every single chair that is made from here out should have headlights and the speed package as a necessity for people, because these drivers, they don't care. They don't slow down. They don't look where they're going. They don't want, they are, it's not you have to worry about. It's everybody else. And the problem is, if you don't worry about, thank you, what you're doing, if you don't worry about what you're doing, you are the most important of, you're the most important you will ever be. And most chairs now are designed to be opened up, what they call unprofiled, when you have a programmer that you go in and you max out the speed. My chair goes 6.5 miles an hour. Now you think that's fast? It is. A speed package pushes it up to 10. Now I don't know about you, okay? Do I want to go 6 miles an hour when it's 33 degrees outside and 7:30 in the morning to get the food line? Or do I want to go 10 miles an hour?
10.
I want to go 10. Now, am I going to watch out for other people? Yes.
No.
Okay. I got to watch out for what's in front of me. Now that's funny right there. I look at this and you know, hey, Ms. Wilson, to go through this, inclement weather, that's another one. They make canopies now to go over the top of the chair. They hook on the handlebars, and they come right here, and they go over top of you. So, excuse me, you don't get caught in inclement weather. Really, and I talked to Tony about this. A seatbelt on a chair is $70.
That's a necessity.
$70. A seatbelt on a chair is a necessity. And yet Medicare is saying that it's $70 and won't put one on there unless it's specified. It's stupid. These companies, all they want to do is have bean counters to make money and try to skimp you out of what you need. You know what you need. As an individual, exactly. Amazon is $30. And it goes on the same way, held in by a bolt and a screw.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to bring up something that my mother said to me. Don't let insurances tell you what you need and don't need. Listen to me, folks. Before I get off here, let me say this. Don't let the insurances tell you what you need and don't need. The package that I have on my chair for tilt, recline, and elevate is included. All those now are included as one package. But the stand up, the elevator to make you stand up is not. Now, that does not mean that I don't need it. I did write in to have that elevator put in, and it was declined. You know what? Let them decline it, because then you can appeal it and have a letter of necessity written by your doctor and your therapist and your PT and your OT. You got to get ammunition on these guys, okay? The insurances are going to deny it on purpose so that you don't get what you want. I'm going to say that again. The insurances are going to deny what you request on purpose because they think you aren't going to fight for it. Sit to stand, exactly. The elevator that has you sit to stand, that is a 10,000 package, but I'm able to stand upright and rise at the same time. Now you can tell me I don't need it, but last time I checked, I was going to the store the other day and I needed something off the top row. Nobody was with me. I was by myself for the one few times I wanted to go by myself. I rose my little chair right on up, got to the top of the thing, got what I needed, and the lady looked at me and said, "Damn, that was the coolest thing I ever seen." Do not let insurances deny you to what you have the rights to. Know what you and your doctor did talk about. It really now here's the thing that gets me. I told them if you do the tilt and recline and elevator, don't make my chair taller because it's tough for me to get in anything above 15 and a half inches because of how my CP is. They had to make it, 16 and a half. They had to make it 17, so it was a half inch taller. So what I did to compensate that was I got a smaller cushion with a less inflate, but a better style cushion. See, there's a way around things when you work with the right people. Had Miss Wilson not told me to fight for that, I probably wouldn't have got what I got because the insurance denied it the first time. They are trained to deny this stuff because they don't want to spend the money. And that's the truth. But when you have the right and you medically need it necessarily for your condition, you need to know about that, and so does the insurance. That number on the back of your card is there for a reason. Use it. Know that you have the right to talk to these insurances, and the only way we're going to change these laws, the only way we're going to break through these walls that we hit is for us as disabled people and a disabled community have got to stand together and fight for what we believe in. We've got to talk to our congressmen, our congresswomen, our TV stations. We need to make changes in this world about what we want. If we just sit there and complain that we don't have it, but don't get up off our butt and do what we need to do, nothing is going to change until we make it happen. And when we start pushing for what we believe in and what we need, we know what we need. Our doctors know what we need. And if your doctor doesn't know, get another one. If you're not comfortable with the doctor that you have, get another one. If you're not happy with the first opinion of a wheelchair, get another one. You have to fight for you. The only person that's going to fight for you hardest is yourself. You have to learn to be your own advocate. You have to learn to fight for the right to be involved because you are and you do matter. But if you don't push it, nobody else is going to push it for you. You can't sit on your butt and wait for something to happen because you think someone else is going to do it. That's what makes life dwell. You've got to be the one to say, you know what, I'm going to change this because I need it. I have to have it. I have to fight for it. So if you want to learn something, ask questions. Look it up online. Research it. Call those medical insurance and ask them why. Have them give you an answer. Don't settle for we don't know. Well, if you don't know, give me somebody who does. Let me talk to a supervisor. If you have a little bit of patience, you can go a long way. To answer this question, Thomas, everything is so expensive for the disabled because most things for the disabled are made across the country. In other countries, not here. It would be so much simpler to make them here and make them durable here in the United States of America instead of other countries and having to ship them and move them and do all this stuff. That's why they're so expensive, because they try to make They don't make things that last like they used to. Okay, so most of the parts that are made for chairs and vans and ramps and things like that are done in Europe, Asia, China, other countries, Scandinavia. Over there, you got to look at what you want to do. Again, is talk to your congressman, talk to your local governor, and get into, there are grants and different things that you can get to get money to be able to get what you need. But you've got to fight for your right to exist. Not if it was made here. Not if it was made here, because it wouldn't have to be shipped outside the U.S. Shipping outside the U.S. is unbelievably expensive. Guys, listen, I'm going to end with this. When you're in a fight, it's you and what you're against. Don't bring extra into it that you don't need. Don't make it worse than it is. Don't inflate it. Don't blow up like a pufferfish. Defend yourself. Know your rights. Know that you matter. And know the laws around you in your city. And if you don't know the answer to a question, find it. Search it. Dig for it. Because you matter as much as I do. You always have, and you always will. I want to thank everybody for tuning into the show tonight. If you guys would like to be a guest on the show, please don't be afraid to email me at mycpdoesnotdefinememe@yahoo.com. Remember, if you email me, it doesn't automatically mean that you're going to be on the show. I will do an interview with you on a Sunday that we will set up first. I will hear your story, and we will decide from there if that happens. Okay? If you email me, please send me one picture and one short paragraph about yourself and your story. I don't need a book. I don't need 10 pages that I got to read through. Just let me know a little bit about your story and why you would like to be on my show. Okay? If you've been on my show before and you want to come back, you're going to have to wait, because I got new people coming and new guests coming and those that want to be on. So do me a favor. Do me a favor and keep them coming. Keep the emails coming. If you have questions, ask me. I'd love to have you on the show. If you can't be good, be bad, but be good at it. This is D to the J with a roll away, and we'll see you next Wednesday at 7 o'clock for My CP Does Not Define Me. We'll see you next week, everybody. Have a great day and take care of each other. All right?
All right, everybody. That's going to do it for this week's episode of My CP Does Not Define Me. As always, you can catch us every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, live on the Disability Global Broadcast, Facebook Live, and on www.letgoradio.net. Also, if you haven't already checked out our YouTube channel, My CP Does Not Define Me, where we post all of our show's episodes in our My CP playlist. As always, I'm your host, D to the J with the roll away. If you can't be good, be bad, but be good at it. We'll see you next week.